Was you automatically running the whole marketing division for Monster, or did you start out
Hell
there, or
no,
what
no,
happened?
no, 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 no. It was So I'm gonna tell you a story, dog. True story. I I wasn't. I came in there, man, and was doing moving around for a while and doing all kinds of stuff. And Kevin Lee, the guy who really brought me in there, you know, no, actually, his pops was like, I'll find something for him to do or whatever. Kevin Lee, took Kevin Lee, who 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 wound up becoming the best man at my wedding.
Wow.
It took Kevin Lee 2 years in the company to understand what it is I did. Word is bond. It took him he could not figure out if somebody asked him what I did, he couldn't really explain it because they were so removed from how you have to have these relationships and how you hustle, and that's how you gather notoriety, success, and climb the ladder. They didn't really understand that. They didn't understand how that went on. You know what I'm saying? They didn't understand what I did and everything. And it wasn't until we really started getting into this thing called surround sound. They were doing this surround sound because CDs were getting bootlegged and everything. Noah had actually created, and I remember the guy came up with a solution for the problem because you can't duplicate surround sound. So he created a process whereas he would record different songs in so many different layers that if you tried to record it, you couldn't pick up all of the layers because it was playing through five. You had to have a surround sound system to play the music.
Wow.
So it would be surround. So if you copied it, you would not be able to you wouldn't be able to duplicate that effect of surround sound
So
because you can
Monster
only
and
record
Noli
on. Huh?
was some of the like Monster and Noli was some of the like pioneers with surround sound.
Oh yeah, definitely, totally,
Wow.
totally,
Okay.
totally.
I didn't know that.
No, no, I mean, no was no. Listen, man. So anyway, let me tell you because I don't want to jump the gun. I don't want to jump the gun. So
Right.
I'm dealing with them, and they really started appreciating me when we started getting into the surround sound, right? So we had Luda, we had a bunch of different people come by and we did some surround sound. I'm actually on I'm on an album for George Benson and a couple of different albums that we did under Monster Music. There was a chapter that we had actually forged within the company that was called Monster Music. You can go and check that out when you got time. It's not there no more, but I mean that was something that we were doing, and we did quite a few albums in surround sound.
Okay.
And he brought and that actually brought my horizons with music and everything because we did music that I would have never really listened to, and it was dope because to actually see how it stacks up in the different tones and different sounds and different genres was amazing.
What did Monster have to do with beats?
They created beats. No Lee created they created Beats by Dre. So when we went, so man, listen, I'm coming out of hip hop. I know. So in the time of us doing surround sound and everything like that, Kevin Lee meets, we start meeting all these executives and everything. We meet all of I'm already working in the label, so I'm telling Kevin, listen, you need to be meeting this guy. You need to meet this guy. And at one point in time, I actually had Kevin Lee, where I'm taking him, we're going places, and we're trying to position him as that guy so that we can cut some deals and get some things done. He meets up with Steve Berman and I'm already like Jimmy. I already know these cats because I'm coming out of. I came in. I had worked at Warner, so I already knew what the deal. I already knew these cats. So he tells me, "Oh, we're thinking about doing this headphone or whatever with them because I don't know whose idea it was because Jimmy has one version, Noah has another version, but I know Noah was the sound. Noah was the sound. He was the ears behind Beats by Dre, and they were already in the world of you might not know them. You might have like a lot of people might know Jimmy Iovine from the
Right.
music from because of Dre and all of that stuff. But Noah was Jimmy Iovine in consumer electronics. If you were in that space, if you were in the
Got it.
tech space, like he was moving with Steve Jobs and shit like that. So he was He was that guy.
He was that
So,
dude. All right.
oh no, it was no hands down, no question about it. And that was my
Right.
man. I had a, I mean, man, I was privileged. I was honored, B. Honestly, man, I'm moving around the world with this guy,
Right.
and I'm learning, and you know, it's just amazing to me, man. I never thought I'd be doing half of the stuff that I was doing. I'm getting on a flight. I'm going in the office one day and flying to Beijing the next day because I gotta go to the Olympics to deal with some nonsense with beats. I'm like, wow, who is this guy? You know what I'm saying? So Kevin comes and tells me one day, he said, hey, you know, we're thinking about doing a deal with these guys from Universal. You know, they're thinking about doing a headphone and this and that, and we're gonna name it Beats by Dre. I'm like, by Dre, Beats by Dre. And mind you, this is when he had Aftermath and shit like that. This is like, I know who Dre is. I'm like, Kevin and them don't have no idea. Nolan and them don't even want to do the investment. They don't want to go too far into it because they're like, Dre, who is this guy, Dre? What are we gonna do with this guy? I'm like, dude, I told Kevin Lee, if I call him right now and ask him, I'll tell you on that day, I told him, I said, yo, if you're doing that deal, man, your life is never gonna be the same. Never.
Wow.
I'm saying with Dr. Dre,
Right.
he's like, oh yeah. I've sat in meetings, man. I went to Circuit City. I've been to Circuit City, and I went to Virgin Records and all of these spots with talking about beats. And I'm sitting there talking to some of these old ass executives who sitting there asking me, "Oh yeah, we know Dr. Dre. He's over in Beverly Hills. He makes those doesn't he do those hearing aids and stuff?" Like, nah,
Wrong
it's
doctor.
that's a different Dr. Dre. They're like, oh, I thought he was a face. Oh, Dr. Dre, you doing business with that? What does he know about sound? He's a facelift guy. I'm like, no. I mean, this is from Best Buy closed the door on us $300 for a headphone. Next,
Beat it.
you know, we're battling. We got Skull Candy. We got all these other dudes. Yo, built a category that at the time, if you remember when Beats came out, man, you were getting influxed with headphones. There was so many people trying to bite and trying to do what we was doing. It was bananas. I remember I used to walk around and listen, man, I got I'm the guy who actually started walking around with headphones around his neck. Nobody used to walk around with headphones in his neck. Nobody. The first time you saw Beats by Dre, I had the prototype. I had it and I bought it down and I gave it to a little guy by the name of DJ Khaled. And he had an artist by the name of Ace Hood, right? And we were shooting videos. We was all in Opelika.
Opelika, Alabama? Yeah. Florida.
We down in Florida, Miami, okay. in Miami, right. Khaled and all of it. So he was shooting Ace Hood. I forget what the name of the song is, but you can reference it. That's the first time you ever saw Beats by Dre in a video. It was Ace Hood. It was Khaled. I think Rick Ross was in it. Gil Green was shooting it. And what's his name? Baby was in it.
Okay.
Yeah, so actually, man, it was that's the first time you ever seen Beats by Dre. Long story short, man, so we started doing beats. World starts changing. At first, it was mad problems with beats, and everybody was, you know, had a problem with the plastic. See, manufacturing is a trip. So I've learned about manufacturing. I learned about sourcing. So you can source different. You have to source different products so that you can have them all meet up in one place so that they can be assembled and things of that nature. You're looking at the best prices. I've learned all about what your IPITA is supposed to be, and IPITA means how much you're making for every dollar that you spent, what's coming back in.
What is that word again? Can you say that word again?
IPITA.
What is IPITA? What does that mean?
It means, let me see what Google says it means.
I just had never heard the word.
And the website says it comes from a Greek word meaning to put on or to add.
Okay.
In its oldest sense, IPITA is a simple description word, and then it goes on and on. But it is what it is how much are you adding on? Like, what is your EBITDA on products? That means like
Okay.
how much are you adding on? Does $1 bring you back? If you spend a quarter, are you making back $1.25? And so
Okay.
forth.
Okay.
All that type of
Gotcha.
thing.
All right. I
So
learned
that
something.
works into when you're doing a profit and loss sheet and things of that nature.
Okay. So you
You
bought,
know?
so you were responsible for bringing beats to Dre, to Interscope. And
No.
not responsible. You
I
had a
was
lot to
not.
do with the promotion of it, would you say?
I actually, yeah. Well, I am the promotions of it at the beginning. Before we really became a full-fledged company, man. All the internal marketing and everything that you seen when the Beats was launched in 2007 or whatever it was done by us, my team at Monster. You know what I'm
Wow.
saying? It was Monster. They ran it. Now later on, as it caught on and it started being remotely profitable, and people started envisioning and seeing that this could work, that's when they lit fire behind underneath it.